Hey guys, happy Sunday. I wanted to pop in with one of my favorite tips that I literally came up with over 8 years ago when I started using the containers. I simply bought 4 sets of the containers so that I had a container for every single meal I was supposed to eat. So for example, in my meal plan, plan A, I'm eating 4 greens, okay, 4 reds, 3 purples, 3 yellows, 1 blue, and 2 oranges. So when I was making my meal plan, I had all these containers. So it was really simple for me to eliminate the containers that I was going to be eating and see what's left to see if that meal plan worked. So quick example. Let's say for breakfast I decided I wanted 2 eggs, which is a red, with some spinach and a piece of toast. And then for lunch I wanted a salad, which is usually 2 of my greens with some chicken, maybe some croutons, dressing, and a side of fruit. And then for snack, I was gonna have some veggies and hummus. Well, when it came down to dinner, all that was left was proteins, fruit, and a carb. Can't really make a great dinner with that. So it was really easy to be like, is this plan gonna work for the day? So what I've come up with, like I said, I've been doing it for 8 years, but I still love having a container count for each container I'm supposed to have throughout my day because it makes it really simple and I'm a total visual learner. For breakfast, I love eggs with a piece of toast. I'm really simple. Those are gone. Elimination done. For snack, I love my shake and I usually add half a banana, which is 1 purple for fruit, and those are done. Maybe if I added peanut butter, I could take one of these. And for lunch, I love salads for lunch. I don't get bored of them. I change them up, or maybe I do a veggie bowl, but either way, I'm usually having 2 veggies at lunch and a protein. So let's say it was a chicken, a green salad with chicken on top, and here's my salad dressing. Maybe I added some croutons or tortilla strips, and that was lunch. Maybe I added a side of fruit or had an apple walnut salad. But if I don't have my fruit with lunch, I'm definitely having it at snack, which is usually like a green of veggies and hummus, a blue, and a piece of fruit, which left me with dinner. Dinner is what I plan first every single day that I do my meal planning because we eat that as a family no matter what. So typically I'm like, maybe it's, broccoli tonight with some chicken marsala, which is chicken with some mushrooms, a side of fruit, and some rice. So I keep it very simple, but the way I do this is by having each container that I'm going to need to use for the total container amounts for the day helps me make sure I stay on track as I write it out. It was such a game changer when I just said I'm gonna buy 4 sets so that I have a container that is gonna be used for every single meal. And my total daily container allowance. It just made it so much simpler. So now that you guys know that, let's jump into a little bit of meal prep on what I prep. Because my prep for the week is under an hour. It's usually can get done in about 30 minutes, right? So essentially, I don't overthink this, and nothing has to be pretty. Don't think I am like, any form of chef. Like I don't plate things pretty. I just do it to get it done. So I also think super easy. So I essentially just cook a bunch of carbs, a bunch of proteins, and prep a bunch of vegetables and have fruit ready and on hand so that I can grab and go as needed. So I always start with my carbs. This week for my carbs, I am going to just do some brown rice. I love the frozen stuff from Trader Joe's because it's microwavable, so I can pop this in the microwave and then it's done. It's not frozen anymore. I can keep it in a Ziploc container in the fridge and it's done, okay? So right now I'm going to boil some of these chickpeas. They're another favorite carbohydrate of mine, which is a yellow container. Now, I don't measure when I'm cooking it. right? I'm just gonna cook enough for the week, which I literally don't measure. I just boil some noodles and I will put them in a Ziploc container. And when I go to put my lunch together, you'll see when I measure it. So I'll pop these in the microwave. I've got brown rice, I've got chickpea pasta, and then I love these millet and brown rice ramen noodles. These are from Costco. I love them because I have cooked them 1,000 times, and when this is all cooked, it fits perfectly as one serving of the yellow and makes for an awesome noodle bowl. So I've got another pot of water over here, and I'm just gonna drop that in. So all my carbs are cooking. This only microwaves for like 2 minutes. Oh, not even, 30 seconds, I think. And then you flip it in 30 more seconds, so a minute. And what I do with those is I simply just put them in a container, and each one in a separate Ziploc container and in the fridge. Same thing with my fruit. What I did is I just washed all these berries so they're ready to have as a grab and go snack. I like to put these in mason jars so that they don't get squished. And I definitely don't keep them in a bowl like that because they start to weigh on each other. But essentially, that means I put half a banana in my shake usually. So fruits are done, right? I'll do 2, like maybe I have apples, I have tangerines, I have berries on the ready. Super simple. And you guys saw my carbs. I gave myself 3 different carb options. And let's move on over to veggies. This is super cool, guys. What I do with my vegetables is, remember how I said keep it super simple? Anything, absolutely anything that I can buy pre-done, I do. So I've got chopped onions ready to go. I've got, these were frozen, but they're starting to thaw, bell peppers, and I've chopped up some mushrooms. I've got some Brussels sprouts here. This is zucchini. I've got broccoli. I don't think long and hard about this. I just was like, whatever was in the fridge, I'll chop it up and have it on the ready. Now, I also love ready-made salads. I just take that little green container and measure. I love, if I'm gonna saute stuff, cabbage. I always get green and purple. You can always add this to any type of noodle bowl, like we're cooking the noodles for. The green cabbage is great for like egg roll in a bowl, and you can just choose your protein on top of it. So another thing I love to buy, now if you're at Trader Joe's, they do these ribbons, sweet potato ribbons, but you can totally do frozen. And I just will pop them on a baking sheet with salt and pepper and olive oil, and they're ready to go. You can put them anywhere in your day. If you don't have toast, you can have them at breakfast. You can throw them in any one of your bowls or your salads, and it just makes life so much simpler, right? So what I'm gonna do right now is just make sure I have some sauteed vegetables, you know, for whatever lunch. Sometimes I add them to salad. I've got rice, so I love rice bowls. I love noodle bowls. If I'm not having a salad, because I cook, you know, I fry 2 eggs every morning, and I cook dinner fresh, the only thing I really have to worry about is lunch. So I want you to think like rotisserie chicken, already done. Make tacos and then reuse the meat in a salad or a bowl. That is totally something I do all the time. But literally for my lunch stuff, I'm gonna show you how simple it is. I've got the chickpea pasta boiling. I've got the noodles boiling. I'm gonna put the rice in at any time. It's only a minute, so no worries. But in the meantime, I've got this tray lined with foil because I am also all about quick cleanup. And I'm just gonna drop my Brussels sprouts on there. And I've preheated the oven while I was starting to bring the water to a boil, so that's simple enough. And I just make a really, like, don't stack them up. I make sure they're spread out, thin layer of Brussels. Brussels are my favorite. I love to put them on my salads. I love to put them in my anything. My noodle bowls. I've even eaten them to breakfast on the side of my eggs. They're just one of my favorite vegetables. So all I put on there are those. We're gonna get to these in a second. And with that, to save oven time and space, I'm gonna lay my chicken breasts on this side, but I need the olive oil. So, here we go. I'm pretty healthy with the olive oil, right? Like, I don't want it to stick. And can always kind of stir it around, like soak it up. Super simple, right? Scoop this out of the way just a little. Okay, then on this other side where I put that olive oil, I'm just gonna grab some chicken breasts. So to help them cook faster, I do slice them in half lengthwise, like through the width. And so this was 2 breasts, make it into 4, makes life just super simple, right? Drizzle the tops with olive oil. And then some of my favorite things. Salt, pepper, right? Like you gotta season it. But for me, this H3 seasoning is kind of spicy, has a little bit of cayenne pepper in it, but it also already has salt and pepper. So I'm like, ooh, let's rock with it, sister. That is the way to go because I don't have to touch too many things at once. Okay, so the oven is already preheated at 350. I'm gonna probably shoot it up to 400 and just leave these in there for like 20 minutes. My chicken will be done as well as my Brussels sprouts, and we just get to do all the rest of the fun stuff while this is going. Okay, easy enough. So a while ago, I kind of gave up cooking with butter because my chicken marsala recipe from the Fix8 cooks with ghee, and I just always have had it and I love it. So I'm going to now saute some of my vegetables in the ghee, which is absolutely phenomenal. So I love that these onions are already done. Of course, they're a Trader Joe's special, but I'm pretty sure you can get them anywhere because if I'm trying to save time, this is obviously the awesomest way to go. So I'm just gonna drop some onions down in there. Now, this is cool because I can turn that chicken into like a chicken fajita and just grab a tortilla, or I can turn that chicken into any form of like a bowl or over rice, right? So it really makes life really simple. And then I've got these peppers that are already sliced, diced, and ready to rock, which I also love. And you're gonna notice, like I'm not measuring anything. So typically I'll just let that saute and do its thing. I might add some green onions at the end. I might add the cabbage, like whatever you're feeling. So I know I'm going to be doing chicken marsala for dinner, so I'm gonna put half of these mushrooms away so that I have those to do Monday night on dinner, because Monday's always a crazy night, right? And I don't have to do anything with them before dinner. So that makes my life super simple. And then I've got some tomatoes here. I love zucchini, but I'm gonna do that as more like a vegetable stir fry, which I'll use some more onions and the peppers and just stir fry those so they're ready. And then the beauty of all this is it can go with me. I don't even mind eating it cold because it's usually so flavorful. It doesn't matter. Or I can pop it in a microwave wherever I am. So we've got onions and peppers going down here. They are always a staple. I just drop them in a awesome sauce, a little Ziploc container once they're translucent and pretty and cooked through. And then I'll just go through and do my broccoli with onions and mushrooms. And I'm gonna portion out a salad. Like, you guys, all of this isn't even been 15 minutes, not even 10 minutes actually. And we're pretty much done. I'm gonna check my noodles. Let me move you over here. Nothing's fancy about what I do. And I always laugh about that because please do not feel like anything has to be fancy here. I'm all about fast over fancy. So our brown rice and millet noodles are done and they're beautiful. So I'm just gonna strain them really quick and throw them in here. Okay, and our onions smell amazing too. So this is ready to go as one of my proteins. I just set this aside, let it cool, and get ready for the pasta. Okay. Pasta's done too, and there's a lot more of it, so I'm just gonna strain it and put it in one of these. Okay. I never said I was a clean cook either. But now, this is obviously more than one yellow. So what happens is when it comes time for lunch tomorrow, I would just be like, oh, I'm making a lunch, and I'd grab a new container, take one yellow, dump it in, take a green of veggies, dump it in, right? Like, nothing about any of this is really pre-planned from here. I just make sure I have enough carbs, enough proteins, and enough vegetables. So you're thinking, she only did 4 chicken breasts. Like, what other proteins? Well, on my salad, I could do garbanzo beans. I could do hard-boiled eggs. Like, I will of course do all that, right? Like I always hard-boiled eggs, I always make some muffins, I always do some other things outside of prep. But I want you to just keep it super simple. I could throw tuna on there out of a can or even canned chicken. But like I said, the night I have tacos, I will make taco meat right into these noodles, not even caring, and pick a dressing, and we are on like Donkey Kong. So please guys, do not overthink this. That's kind of like the number one thing I like to just tell everyone is just can't overthink it. So our onions and peppers are done. Just put them in there. Put a little more ghee in the pan because we're gonna just keep going with the round 2. Now I'm doing my stir fry vegetables. It's gonna be broccoli and mushrooms and zucchini. You could do beans. I love bean sprouts in this, like if I'm doing a veggie bowl. And once again, I'm not measuring because I'm gonna measure when I dish it up. So I did slice these tomatoes so I would have, if I wanted to put a salad together. And boom. So here's a trick. I'm pouring off some of the ghee from the last thing as it settles to help kind of strain it so it's not as oily. And so this is gonna be like my fajita, right? Or over my rice. So I like to do one separate of that just because I like those veggies. But that doesn't mean that I don't want onions and peppers in with my stir fry. So I'm just gonna put it in there. And the fact that it is already chopped, like no one can tell me this took long, right? And then, you know, I still have cabbage left if I wanted to do a egg roll in a bowl and put it over those noodles. But I love the rice noodles with all of it, any of it, all of it really. So there we go. So that's kind of a bigger one. So I'm probably gonna add a little more ghee. And it smells amazing. So, pasta's looking good. And chickpea pasta's awesome. Okay. So, I am just gonna put my fruit in some mason jars. And this is great because if I'm running, late one morning for breakfast, I can easily grab a Greek yogurt, some honey, and off with the show with that, right? And I literally have my favorites, obviously, but I'm like, I also have tangerines, apples, bananas, so if the kids, which happens a lot, grab one of these and eat it, I always have extra, right? Okay, so prep is almost done. So yep, my first would be like a chicken fajita rice bowl. I've got this veggie stir fry over noodles, or I don't care, I can put it over the pasta or the ramen noodles, and I'll just add some liquid aminos, and it's so good if you just season it. I love adding nutritional yeast because it tastes like cheese on really any and all of this stuff, but I have more than 4 lunches ready to rock. And the cool thing is I can always use these veggies for anything at dinner time because there's always extra. Okay, those are just about done as well. So, I haven't eaten lunch yet, so I'm gonna show you what it looks like when I'm all done. If it was first thing in the morning and I was like, oh, today I am not feeling a salad, because you guys know, like, I love salads, but some days, maybe it's raining or something, I have to take those fruits away or I'll eat them all. Maybe it's raining or something, then you just don't really feel like a salad. I'm gonna show you. I'm just gonna choose what I want. So, like, chickpea pasta it is today. It's already made. So I'm like, okay. That goes down in the bowl. I would take a green container of these stir-fried vegetables that are looking amazing. They would all be done and in another container, ready to go. Right? And I love to stuff this like so much because this is like the good part, right? There's my veggies. And then I just have to add a protein. So my chicken will be done. I can dump that on here. I can use canned chicken. I can use leftovers from last night. Boom. Rotisserie chicken is already done if you buy it on like $5 Friday, or they're at Costco for $5. And I would just fill a red container with my protein, or maybe it's a pork tenderloin, or maybe I love to do things in the crock pot so that they're ready, or the air fryer, and then boom, I just plop that on there. So moral of the story, people, is essentially, guys, just give yourself healthy choices at your disposal, right? Like if you have your carbs already cooked, your veggies already cooked, your proteins already cooked, you will get through this no problem. You can portion out your fruit if you want, but in reality, you don't have to make it that difficult. Just have it so that you can have it together. I seasoned all my vegetables and my pasta, but I am all about adding sauces or, you know, Italian dressing is phenomenal on this, and it's just oil and vinegar and seasoning. So just get creative with it, but keep it as simple as possible in the beginning and know how many containers you're supposed to have. And then when it's time to eat or make your lunch for the day, it's already done, right? Like, this is as simple as prep can be. We are done, and it's only been 20 minutes. All week at your fingertips. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, good eats.